Welcome to Beyond the Stockroom, where we will be exploring the vast career opportunities that exist beyond the stockroom. What happens when a product is out of stock? That's where we come in.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Beyond the Stockroom. We are so excited to have our next guest up on the podcast, Deby Morales, who is a colleague of Dillon and I's. We met her a few years ago. And Deby, I'll let you talk a little bit more about who you are and what you do in the industry.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me here first. My name is Deby Morales, and I'm currently a business development manager over specialty independence at Punchkins. I recently started this position after being with a company named Love Handle for around almost 3 full years. So I'm super, super excited to be here. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, what exactly is like business development in the specialty independent world look like?
Yeah, that's a great question because I was also wondering the same thing, but it's basically just generating new business, meaning getting new customers or reactivating old accounts that haven't ordered in a couple of years. Also, seeing in what areas we could really make a statement or be present in. So, finding new markets, reactivating new accounts, and just keeping in touch with all the relationships that were there before I came. So,
Nice. Nice.
Awesome. And let's talk about, because I think when we first connected and met and you were with Love Handle, I think you were still going to school. So I just wanted to talk about kind of how you got into the industry, because that's always what we ask people. And I think you being a younger generation, it's intriguing because I think we all have different paths of how we got here. Except Delaney and I were kind of boring. We were just born into it. But I'm curious, your trajectory, and then I'm also curious what you went to school to major for, and
yeah.
what if it wasn't this industry, what made you stay and want to switch, to a different job?
Well, thank you for asking that question. I am excited to talk about it because I recently graduated a week ago from the University of Houston. Go Cougs. Yay! And throughout my whole time at Love Handle and some of my time at Punchkins, I was going to school. And the way that I started while simultaneously going to school was through a friend. And she said, "Do you want to come on a trip to Atlanta?" It would, she was just telling me we would just be selling items at the time. I knew what Love Handle was, I just didn't know that I would be talking to
Everything about
1,000 people every single day. 1,000 people, 8 hours a day for 9 and 10 days, and so I said yes. I was, in school, but I was also working. So throughout my whole time in school, I've had to work to be able to pay for my own school, and I thought, "Why not? I'm just gonna take pay time off from my current job to go and do this." And so I took a week off, and I think it was one of the best decisions that I could have taken at that time to really show me that you can really have a job that's fun and you can talk to people, which is my dream. I love talking to people, I love sharing, and I love creating experiences. So, yeah, I went and I came back. I was jumping up and down, and I told my parents I don't ever want to go back to any other job. Um, and so from there, then I got invited to another show and another show until then I got an official offer to then be at Love Handle full time, be over the whole sales department. And yeah, I mean, I would do homework on my laptop and go out to dinner. And so, yeah, I'm
Long
finally.
days, long days.
Yeah. What were you studying while you
Oh,
were?
yes. I was studying business administration and marketing strategy. Nothing really to do with sales, just on how to sell products. But I was invited to the top sales program of the school, and which was a surprise to me because I didn't apply for it. I, nothing to do with it. Um, but they invited me. I wasn't able to join because it would have required me to be in person, but it just feels good, to
Yeah.
to see that I still have it.
I think it's funny because that touches on kind of something we covered in like recent episodes, and it was about how, like, yeah, it's sales. Like, if we're talking about sales reps, like, it's sales, but you don't really need to be a salesperson. Like, oftentimes the best salespeople, like probably yourself, are the ones that don't think of themselves as a salesperson because you're
Yeah.
not that pushy stereotype of like a car salesman. No offense, like your
Yes.
boyfriend being a car salesman, but you know
But
what I mean.
he
Uh,
also takes the relational aspect into car sales. So
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, changing the game. But so I'm curious because you really started as a temp, and that's something we've also like talked about because I think that's kind of the best way to get your feet wet, experience it all at once, and
Yeah.
then if you like it, then it's for you, and if you don't, then perfect, you tempt and you don't have to do it again, right? So I'm curious, you tempt multiple times. Had you never tempt, do you think that you would have ever just landed like if you had just found the job at Love Handle post school, do you think you would have the same relationship with this business or this industry that you do now?
That is a great question because I don't think that I would have. Now, being graduated and being older and having to be an adult, I'm more of like, okay, you know, sometimes I forget to see the magic aspect or the whimsy of a job. And so at the time that I went to the show and I was a temp, and even the other shows that I had to drive to the show and set up and tear down, I
yeah.
was really enamored by the idea of, wow, all of these people are coming from all around the world and they're just all here. Like everything that we buy comes from these buildings. So I think it was a great time to find myself in that position. And I think that I still would have landed somewhere along this industry because I think it just had to, but not in the same way that I did. So,
Yeah. Nice. We see that. I think that you put it a great way. W's show is the whimsy of our jobs, and we all are sticking around in the in between months, waiting for those months of like fun and whimsy and seeing everybody. And yeah, so that's really cool. You probably would have applied for like the love handle position or the Punchkins position off Indeed, and then once your
yeah.
first show hit, you would have been like, yeah, this is the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. So cool. How many shows did you temp before? So you worked 3 years at Love Handle. So
Yeah.
was it like a
So,
summer show and then a winter show?
so my first show was the busiest show of any known to man. It was Atlanta in the winter. Um,
Yes.
and I had to go from setup to tear down. So it was around 9 to 10 days. And we would be there at 8 and the showroom closed around 7 or 6:30, but we would still be writing orders up until 8. So we were really working 12-hour days and then going to dinner and then coming back, taking your makeup off. And so it was a
Or going
full
out.
Yes, exactly. So it was a full 24 hours of working and, having to change the way that you see, just normal interaction. So I did that as a temp show. And then I did one more in March. It
Okay.
was the Ace Hardware show, which was in San Antonio, which worked perfectly because I'm in Houston. So it was like a 2-hour drive. And then I did it with that same friend that invited me to Atlanta. So it was a full circle moment, and we set up the show. We were handwriting orders, we were talking to customers. So two
Nice.
shows, and then countless after that.
Nice. Okay, cool. That's amazing. So, in your role now at Punchkins, which I guess for the viewers or for the listeners, maybe what is Love Handle and what is now Punchkins, since we've name dropped them so many times.
Yes. So Love Handle is a phone grip company that has so many designs and so many features that I really aligned with because it was allowing people to talk to each other. So let's say if a person was missing a limb or missing fingers or, just had any disability, it was a great phone accessory to be able to stay in contact. And then Punchkins is a fun plush that can also be given to adults
Yeah.
and to young teens, which I think is great because it really balances out or bridges the gap in between kids and adults. So, yeah.
It's a good product.
They're big on this book talk trend right now too.
Oh
So
my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
cool. So I guess what is your role right now at Punchkins day to day? What does it look like aside from shows?
Yes. So aside from shows, I am overseeing key accounts in my heart. They're key accounts. They're accounts that I've had wanted to work with for so many years, and now I'm working with them as specialty. I'm also working on bookstores, hospital gift shops. So all of the smaller accounts that don't require months of setup. That's me. I'm also over Fair, which is a great source of awareness for us. And then also any showroom related stuff. So any cosmetic aspects of the showroom, I oversee that as well.
I'll be chatting with you then shortly, getting ready
Yes.
for Vegas. So have you had any, like, what job were you working prior to doing the shows for Love Handle? While you
So
were
before that job, I was a secretary at a property management company, which was awesome. It really allowed me to see how customers work in real time, how they react to certain messages or what really takes people off. So I think that was a great foundation for how I then talk to people and how I talk to people now. And then while I was doing those two temp shows, I was at a steel company. So very different. And I was the only girl and there was 25 men working there and I was again a secretary, but it also allowed me to be more organized and, just see how different people react to different, conversations and topics. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
nice. Do you think at all those roles were similar? Obviously, they were very different in most aspects, but similar, or like these skills that you learned at least have translated into what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think they were definitely super helpful in changing the way that I think about challenges because at that steel company, we had an outdated computer that I had to deal with. I had to do time sheets for the everybody. And so it molded my mind to see the solutions that are not often the normal solution. Yeah, just resourcefulness.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So,
Resourcefulness.
quick question on like your time. I mean, obviously you started with Love Handle as kind of your entry into this industry, and now you're with Punchkins. Um, However that happened organically or whether you were seeking just a different kind of like opportunity or a product that resonated with you more. Um, did working the shows and getting into this, did it like get you hooked? Like when you were going to school, did you have a more of a vision of what you wanted to do with what you were majoring in and stuff, and kind of had like a dream of what you wanted to work, but then you found this and were like, oh my gosh, this is just too much fun. I got to do this all the time.
Yes, absolutely. I think even, let's say, after a show, when I would be back in my room, I would be doing homework on management or marketing strategy, and I would be like, texting my boss, hey, we need to do this for this aspect of the social media, or we have to put this in the product listings. So I definitely went into school with an overview of what I wanted to do just in the managerial space. But then after going to shows and being this myself imposed manager, basically, I could see how I could just make my processes go faster, or how I could streamline processes for the showroom or for samples, or so I was seeing what I was learning in real time.
Yeah.
And so that was very cool.
Nice. And then like you touched on it a little bit. So you find this also like something you want to stick with because you're kind of your own manager, like you have a manager, but because it's remote work, you kind of get to design your work day, design your processes that you follow, things like that. So I think that's really cool. And I have a business minor that I got. So I'm curious if you, Debbie, we did like this in my marketing class. That was the only class I ever took that said anything about rep agencies on this wholesale world. And we did like a what is it? A simulation of
Yeah.
selling backpacks. Maybe yours was different, but yes, this simulation, and you like had to choose all of the channels that you were selling your backpacks through, and like reps were one of them, and online sales was another, and like
Mhm.
I think I passed it, but you had to have every single channel in order to pass it. And so like people who only did online sales like couldn't get through. And I found that very interesting going from like growing up knowing what my mom's done and then that being the only class that business majors are even like exposed to this industry about.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm curious. But the business admin majors out there listening to this podcast, this is the industry for you. And then
Yes,
if you like
yes,
talking to people
absolutely.
like Debbie, so nice. We had a guest earlier too, Debbie, that she called herself a professional yapper. Would you agree?
Oh, I would agree. Yeah, I think that's very much me.
Professional yapper.
Love it.
It's
I
good.
love
Good
it.
title.
So for our listeners that maybe aren't business minor or business admin people or even merchandisers, that's a common major that we've seen come into this industry as well. What other careers or roles do you see at either company that you previously worked for, or I guess in the industry as a whole, from your perspective as a more youthful person in this industry?
I think the other careers that I've seen, just based on who I'm rubbing elbows with, are marketing. That is a very important department for any company. I think the way that we were brought up thinking, oh, if let's have a commercial, now all of that is completely 180.
Yeah.
So now the easiest way to reach people is on their phones, or believe it or not, I think word of mouth is also a very powerful way of marketing still to this
Mhm.
day. So I think the more that you spend trying to understand the trends and the customers, the more revenue you're going to see. So yeah, definitely marketing. Anything to do with Amazon, Amazon storefront. I don't know the first thing about that, but um just technical.
Yeah.
A good technical person that can deal with online topics,
Nice.
basically.
Yeah.
Would you ever see yourself down the road, Debbie, like say you wanted to get out of management and definitely be your own boss? Would you see yourself being a sales rep ever?
That's a good question. And I have thought about, oh, I could, in the showroom, you see so many brands that, you see out in the real world. And I'm going to name drop a few. We have Specs, we have Nito, we have this company named Ethic Goods, their bracelets. I love them. And so I love all of these products, and I'm like, I wish I could sell all of this to everybody. So maybe, who
Maybe.
knows? Maybe in the
You
future.
never know what the future holds. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. In like 5 to 10 years, Debbie, you'll probably still be around. I will be too. But what do you think
Hopefully.
the industry will look like there?
That's a very scary, I don't know, thing to think about. just because the way that things have changed in only 3 or 4 years, I think that markets will definitely go through a dip and then come back to be the main source of where people find their products and are seeking newness. I definitely think that's going to happen. But also, I feel as if showrooms are going to go digital. They're going to become always accessible. And there's just going to be better experiences for, let's say, customers that don't have the means to travel, but are still seeking that new product or that new trendy thing. Yeah. So I think accessibility is going to be a great point of change. And then also the sense for people and the sense for community is going to revamp and come back stronger. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think because at the root of it all, we are a relationship based, I'll just say industry. We all say business, but each of us are our own business. We're a relationship based industry. So I don't think it'll truly ever just like dissipate and go
Disappear.
away and everything will just be online or, the rare chance a rep walks into your store and tries to sell to you. Thankfully, because I think that's what we all enjoy about this is the community.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
definitely.
Cool. What advice would you maybe give to somebody that's in your is coming up out of college or maybe still in college, just like your coming up story about getting into this wholesale world?
Great question. I would say my biggest advice is to just send a message. Send a message, sleuth online, find somebody's email, find somebody's phone number. People want to be approached. People want to talk about what it is that they do. We all want to share how great and awesome and cool the job that we do is. So if you're looking for something temporary and then might turn permanent, just reach out to somebody. It is more likely than not that somebody's going to send you to somebody they know than just ignore you. So just reach out and just be a human. Communicate. We're not serious. Nobody in this industry is serious. And that's one serious thing that I'm going to say. Just just talk to people. We need people to talk to.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah, that's true.
I would agree with that.
And I think one thing Delaney and I have tried to preach is I think what's really challenging for people coming out of college, even though it's maybe coming out of high school that don't want to go the college route, but man, the job hunt on those, just what has become your go-to, right? Because I remember when I would go ask for an application in places and then fill it out, right? But now everything's just online. And so you just seek out all these jobs online, but it's like everything gets filtered out. And you're rarely, like me personally, I was rarely ever communicated to or followed up on. And it's frustrating because it kind of just leaves you wondering. So like one thing we've tried to just say is like for we're all different businesses in this industry, but like Debbie, if somebody had reached out to us and said, "Oh my God, Punchkins, I saw your product online and it's so cool. I'd love to work there." Like what positions are available? Like we would know. Well, we know Debbie. I think Delaney, you might know other people, but like between us and you and whomever, certainly we know the person that does the hiring. And
absolutely.
it's not this, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess
Yeah.
guess you didn't get the job. So
I guess
Exactly.
there's a few ways you could go about sending these messages that Debbie just gave some advice about. Like as Dylan touched on, if you're getting social media ads pushed for any products that you find awesome, go to that profile, send them a message. Chances are they're involved in this industry some way or another. Um, and that's a good way. Otherwise, you could use LinkedIn, but in order to probably find the people, you would need to know some brand names. We did interview the founders of Reps Are Local 2, and if you go to repsarlocal2.com, there's a participating agencies page where you can see all of the rep groups that are involved in that. And if you go to their individual websites, you'll then be able to see all of the brands that those rep agencies represent, and then maybe find some brands there, go type them into LinkedIn, find somebody that works there and send them a message. Yeah, what are other ways you maybe would send messages? Anybody?
I think LinkedIn, use it as your professional Instagram
Oh,
because if people see you enough, then they'll just recognize you in person. if people see you enough, they'll be proud of the things that you're doing, and then they'll feel more confident sending you or connecting you with somebody else. So definitely LinkedIn, email if you find their email, or, ask online, hey, what is the email body for this company? Or something like, just get crafty.
Okay, nice. Love it. Love it.
Use the resources you have available to seek out the additional information.
Exactly.
I do want to touch on this Instagram, LinkedIn fusion thing that you just said, Debbie, because I think even me, and you just coming out of college, like you're kind of like spoon-fed LinkedIn about that. And I think because yes, I was born into this industry and have then also decided to continue in it, I've had that level up, I guess, on meeting people. But I think LinkedIn, yeah, if I didn't have that connection, would have been an amazing way to get involved with people. So I've always been like holding off, but even now with the creation of SWTA, I'm on there a little bit more, and it is an Instagram-y thing. So like what kind of content do you post? Because it's not Instagram, so it's obviously professional, but are you posting like selfies at market or what kind of content?
Yes. Well, you got me. So yes, selfies, selfies at market or shows, with my friends that I've made from LinkedIn,
Yeah,
which is awesome because once you meet one person, then you're connected to this web of influential people that could really just find a spot. Even if it's not the right fit, they'll try to find something for you. So,
nice.
yes, I post anything from the trips that I go on to the lessons that I learned. I did start, and I need to keep up with this series where when I am out in the world or just out at stores or boutiques or bookstores, I try to find companies that I've seen in real life at market, and people love it. People
Yeah,
have really taken a liking to it. I've been asked to do it again or continue doing it because the reps, for one, they can see, oh, okay, the customer still has good stock. Or then it's an opportunity for a connection there, you know?
yeah,
So yeah, just really posting anything. People, I've always said this, that people are always curious about what other people are doing. And so just being authentically and genuine in the way that you post and not just phony or bragging about we sold this much or we doing all of these things. Also acknowledging the areas where you could grow or the areas where you need to learn. That is a great thing to post. But also on my Instagram, I've posted for a few of my um, friends' companies. Let's say for Nito, which is going crazy right now,
yeah,
I posted a few videos just because I love Carrie, which is the salesperson. I love the whole team, and they've gotten, I think all three together, they've gotten around 100,000, 130,000 views, which is
That's awesome.
crazy.
It's
that's
So
wild.
yeah,
awesome.
and
Yeah,
I have friends that from that posting or from, just feeling comfortable enough to reach out to me, have sent me products to review or products to talk about, which has been really cool. So
That's
anything.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually glad you brought up Nito, and I did follow your Instagram or your LinkedIn posts for a while, so those were really fun that you were doing that because it promotes local too at the same time,
yeah.
which
And
I think
hashtag
we're
in
all
the
about.
wild. That's what I always say. In
Hashtag
the
in the wild.
wild.
Yeah. But I think Delaney, man, in our first episode, when we were talking about kind of our industry and we were trying to like name stuff that people would recognize, like stuff that kind of boomed. I think we said like Beanie Babies, obviously that dates me, but like Nito is a great
Yeah,
example
Nito's
because
the one right
in
now.
real time right now, that blew up while we've been doing this podcast. And
Yeah,
yes, that
Mhm.
is something that is
yeah,
sold through our channels. Like that's what we would refer to
yeah.
as a line or a vendor. Yeah.
My teacher friends we were like
Oh,
all hanging out. All, me and all my friends. There's a couple teachers in the group, and we were all hanging out, and they were like, oh my God, the 6-7 thing ended. And then all of a sudden they're like, if I have to take away another neato from my kids, I'm gonna lose my like da, da, da. And then we hung out like on a Saturday, and then by that Monday, one of those girls sent a picture to our whole group of like 7 neatos that she confiscated from her students.
Yeah.
And they weren't all name brand neato, so like any just like squishy kind of object on and popping right now. But yeah, shout out Neato for making it a thing. So
Yeah.
they are
So
now the
true.
band-aid of squishy toys.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have about 7 on my desk right now, and then I have specs on my desk.
Okay,
Here, I'll
yeah.
show you. We have
Yeah.
a little purse
Oh,
made
how
out of
Okay.
cute.
specs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out Richard.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We just have a lot of things on my desk right now.
That's
Same.
so funny.
I've got
We said that in one of our episodes where we were like, literally, our desk is just full of like samples and other
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
so silly. So awesome. Well, I think, yeah, the social media thing is a big thing that we haven't touched on. And I myself, Debbie, want to do more on my personal time about exposing this industry. So you have inspired me over here. Yeah.
All the various ways we can do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought about like, because okay, Debbie, you probably see this on Instagram where there's like these local influencers now who only go to places like in Houston,
Yeah.
or like we have ones in Denver. And they focus a lot on like restaurants and experiences that are happening, but they never talk about like, this is what I'm giving my mom for Mother's Day, or
Yeah.
this is where I'm shopping for Christmas, or things like that. And so I think that's a space where maybe we could all collectively become a little more locally influenced with our
Yeah.
local businesses. So who knows, maybe you'll catch me posting a reel saying, hey,
Yes.
Father's Day shopping or whatever, seasons and reasons. So yeah. Well, cool. We'll finish it with our favorite question of the podcast. What is your most favorite thing about working in this industry?
Whew. There's a lot. But to summarize it all, I would say my favorite thing about working in this industry is getting to connect with so many different people that come from so many different backgrounds and meeting them where they're at in terms of providing the best products for them and for their store so that it could be a symbiotic relationship that flourishes together. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. I talk about the symbiotic relationships a lot in this industry because it has to be met in the middle. Like,
Yeah.
so I love that.
That's true.
Cool.
For our listeners that are curious and maybe they want to work with you or work with Punchkins because they're familiar with it or they like it, is
Mhm.
Punchkins, are there any positions Punchkins is hiring for, and or does Punchkins have like an internship type program that may be
Ooh,
offered?
that is a great question. At this moment, I don't know, but I know that there's always room to grow. So definitely reach out and we'll see where we can fit you.
Yeah. Send that message,
Good
like
answer.
Debbie said.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, Debbie, you're gonna get blown up on LinkedIn from all the people reaching out to you.
Yes.
You opened the floodgates. You said just
You
reach
better
out.
put my LinkedIn on there. Okay.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Yeah.
Link in bio. Link in the description. So
Yeah.
cool.
Like
Yeah.
and subscribe.
Wherever it is
Wherever
down
it is.
below. Here,
Yeah.
there, wherever.
Like, subscribe, all the things. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, Debbie. We have enjoyed this conversation and look forward to seeing you at market. It's around the corner.
Yay. Yeah,
Yay.
in 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, 2 weeks. It's not enough
Cool.
time.
Exactly. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Curious about any of the opportunities discussed in this episode? Be sure to check out the industry job board at wholesaletalent.com. And thanks for listening to Beyond the Stockroom.